Recording in progress.
Hi guys, let's discuss the quantitative ability part of mock 20, heading close to mock 25. So I hope you had a good mock. Again, when I go through this mock, I see a series of questions which are easy, which are moderate, and which are difficult. And as I always emphasize on the fact that our job is to see that we are picking up easy questions and we are not wasting our time in questions which are either moderate or not doable. Okay, so let's start with analysis here. Let's look at the first question. Now, when I look at the first question, when I quickly scan through the first question says, some years back, I was traveling in a cargo ship from New Zealand to Tahiti. Okay, I was curious to know about the history of the ship one day, and in the broiler room, I asked a man how old the ship was. He smiled and said the ship is twice as old as its broiler when the ship was as old as broiler. So I'm sure we all have heard this kind of statement in simple equations class. It's a question coming up from simple equation and the concept of ages. And we should not be leaving this question for one simple reason that this question is a question which is coming up from the classroom model only. Okay. So we know that in these kind of questions, if I'm talking about a ship and if I'm talking about a boiler, so there is definitely some past age and there is definitely some present age. Okay. And I'm told that the combined age of the ship and the boiler is 30 years old. Okay. The ship is twice as old as its boiler was. That means the present age of ship, I repeat, this is representing present age of ship is twice of past age of boiler. Clear? So if I take the boiler's past age as X, then the present age of ship is equal to 2X. This is the first thing that we have here, right? Now, if the present age is 2X and the sum of their ages is 30, so all I can write is the present age of boiler is equal to 30 minus 2X. Okay. Now, uh, was when the ship was as old as the boiler is now. So what is the current age of the boiler? So the question is further saying that the past age of ship, okay, is equal to the present age of boiler. Clear? So percentage of boiler is equal to this. So therefore, this becomes 30 minus 2x. And what is the next step that we do? With the difference between past and present of ship is equal to the difference between past and present of boiler. Clear? So I would write this as 2x minus of, in brackets you have 30 minus 2x, so that becomes minus 30 plus 2x, which is equal to, here you have present, that is 30 minus 2x minus the past. So what do we have on the left hand side? On the left hand side, we have 4x minus 30 is equal to, on the right hand side, you have 30 minus 3x. Clear? Or when we transpose, you get 7x is equal to 60, or the value of x is equal to 60 by 7. Now we are not calculating value of x for your information. We are calculating the percentage of the ship and the boiler. So percentage of ship is 2x, right? So that 2x will become 2 into 60 divided by 7, which is 120 by 7. And if you observe, 120 by 7 is only in one of these options. Clear? Or if you want, the percentage of the boiler will be 30 minus of 120 by 7. Now 30 can be written as into 7 into 7. Clear? So we have here as 120 by 7 comma, this becomes 90 divided by 7. So this becomes a perfect pair and this becomes your answer. So to me, this question should have definitely been solved. So 3 marks in your pocket immediately. Clear? Now, let's look at the next question. The home decor shop gives a discount of 12%. The minute I see discount of 12%, this question comes from the topic called profit, loss and discount, or profit and loss. Clear? So let P be the profit the percentage above the cost price, which means markup percentage is equal to P percentage. And I know there's a discount of 12%, clear, by which the price of the statue was marked up so that the profit of X percentage is made. Profit of X percentage is made. Now, what is the other hint given to us? it is noted that P is an integer. Now I'm focusing on the keywords, guys. Now this is a very important term here. Or let me highlight it, okay? So the color of the highlighter we can use as, yeah, blue. So this is a very important one, that P is an integer is the most important part in the question. Clear? And X is less than 100. This is the next important part. We are going to use these 2 points, right? So which of the following can be a possible value of X? So this is what we'll be looking at, guys. Let me change the ink, not working out. Yeah, fair enough. Clear. Now, what do I know if I am stuck? How to proceed? Okay. Now let's try to understand. Let's move to our profit and loss triangle. Clear. So if I understand this triangle, so you have a markup percentage, that is P percentage. Arrows are like this. And then there's a discount of 12 percentage, and then there is a profit of X percentage. So we have discussed this model that CP into multiplying factor is equal to MP. And we know that MP into multiplying factor is equal to SP. This is going this way. CP into multiplying factor will give you MP, and MP into multiplying factor will give you SP. So you're multiplying two multiplying factors. So we can use successive percentage change for this part, guys. So markup is A plus B plus AB divided by 100 should give you the value of X here, which is profit percentage. So always remember, whenever you are given profit percentage, discount percentage, and markup percentage, we can always go ahead with this as successive percentage change of discount and markup percentage leads to profit percentage. You can remember this as a shortcut in your examination and you can note it down. Okay. So if I simplify this, then what do I get here? So this becomes 100 by 100p minus 12 by 100p, which gives us 88p by 100. Clear? And since I'm taking my LCM, let's say minus 1200 is equal to X, right? Or all that we have here is 88p minus 100x is equal to 1200. Clear? A lot of things are common, or if you want, you can directly go ahead with the value of P is an integer, guys. Okay. Now, if I want P as an integer, let's first divide everything by 4. If I divide everything by 4, this becomes 22p is equal to, this is 300 plus 25x. Now, P is an integer, so let me take P as a subject. So P can be written as, now 300 divided by 22. We have learned this method in integer solutions. Let's simplify. 22 ones are 22. We have 80 left. And then we are looking at 22 threes are 66. We have 14 left. That means this can be written as 284 plus 22x divided by 22. This will automatically be an integer. And then finally, what do we have? We have 14 plus 3x divided by 22. So for P to be an integer, I repeat, our job is to check 14 plus 3x should be exactly divisible by 22. Because this is, sorry, this is 286. So this is 22 ones are 22, 13s are. So eventually we have 13 plus x, which is an integer. And we have 14 plus 3x should be exactly divisible by 22. Clear, right? Now all our job is, since we are asked which of the following is not a possible value of x. Let's replace options and see whether they are divisible or not. So 3 into 54 is 162. 162 plus 14 is 176 divided by 22 is exactly divisible. So this can be a possible value. Similarly, 3 into 76 is 228 plus 14 is 242 divided by 22 is also exactly divisible. This is not my answer. So let's look at 3 into 96 plus 14 divided by 22. Yeah, this is not possible. because this value of x does not give me the value of p as an integer. So very good question, guys. The initial concept. So we have to learn this as your first part. So in this chapter, we are applying profit, loss and discount and integer solutions. If you are not comfortable, please go back and check how do we solve integer solutions from our classroom PPT. Clear, guys? So let's move to the next question. Now, as we always have been seeing that, we always keep getting a question from logs for sure, right? So what are we given here? We are given f of x. Yeah, so fair enough. Let's see. So f of x is very simple. Let's simplify g of x. So if I simplify this part here, so you have log g of x is equal to, I can take log common. This becomes 3x plus x cube divided by 1 plus 3x square. Clear? So this log and this log gets cancelled. So eventually we have g of x is equal to this value. Point number one. This is a very important conclusion. Now, what is the question asking us? The question is asking us f of g of x. That means in place of x, we have to replace this complete part. So what is the question asking us? The question is asking us in a way the value of f of 3x plus x cube divided by 1 plus 3x square, which will be how much, guys? That becomes, again, we can divide this part also, 1 plus x. So 1 plus, this is 3x plus x cube divided by 1 plus 3x square divided by 1 minus, you have 3x plus x cube divided by 1 plus 3x square. Now let's simplify these two parts, guys. So if I take LCM as 1 plus 3x square on the numerator, so we have 1 plus 3x square plus 3x plus x cube, and my denominator will have 1 plus 3x square minus 3x minus x cube divided by 1 plus 3x square. So 1 plus 3x square, 1 plus 3x square gets cancelled. Clear? So, and you also have a log common here. Clear? So this will give us what? Log of, if you observe, the numerator is 1 plus x whole cube and the denominator is 1 minus x whole cube. So this gives you 1 plus x divided by 1 minus x whole cube. Clear, guys? So effectively, what do we get? We get 3 times of log 1 plus x divided by 1 minus x. Now, if you look at the options are in the form of either f of x or g of x. Now, we have defined g of x here. Now, what is f of x? If you observe, f of x can be simplified as log common. You have 1 plus x in the numerator and 1 minus x in the denominator. Clear? So 3 times of this value. Now, this value can be replaced as f of x. So therefore, this becomes 3 times of f of x, which makes option D as our answer. Clear, guys? So very simple question here. So if you know the basics of logs, then our job becomes pretty easy here. Now, let's look at the next question here. So please go back. I repeat, the tag of this question is logarithms and functions. Clear? Now let's move to the next question. Now, Rita, Shruti, and Bani go out for a picnic, and Rita takes 3 cakes. Shruti takes 5 cakes, and Bani, who did not find time for shopping for cakes, contributes rupees 8 for all. If all of them divided the cakes equally, okay? So total cakes we had how many are? So if you observe, you have total cakes. Total cakes would be 3 plus 5, that is 8. Now, if you look at each of them, divide the cakes equally. This is the most important point, which means each person gets how much? Each person gets 8 by 3 cakes. So 8 by 3, okay? So can I talk about from Rita's point of view? Rita had 3 cakes. From 3 cakes, she ate 8 by 3 cakes on her own, which means 1 by 3rd of the cake was left for Bani. Clear? Similarly, sorry, what was left for Bani. Now, when I talk about Shruti, Shruti had 5 cakes. From there, Shruti only ate 8 by 3 cakes. So this gives you how much, guys? 7 by 3 of the cake is given to Shruti. So if you observe that this person gave 1/3 of the cake to Bani, and this person gave 7 by 3 of the cake to Bani. So Bani received 1/3 from Rita and 7/3 from Shruti, which means the money given to them should be in the ratio of 1:7. So what should be the ratio of Rita and Shruti? Divide the money contributed by Bani. So therefore, your answer here becomes 1:7. That should be a perfect answer. Clear? So very easy question here. I think this question comes in simple equations concept here. So this is a question that you should have definitely solved in this examination. So if I talk about very easy questions, first one was definitely doable. Now second and third depends on you how much you are pushing, but this was also definitely doable. So I'm talking about the minimum possible score. Okay, minimum possible score by now should be 2 questions correct, which is 6 marks. So we'll try to see that how can we score, or what is the minimum possible marks that we should be ideally scoring in an exam like this. Clear? Find the number of zeros at the end of the product, so on, so on, so on, so on. So if you observe, this is 50, 100 to the power 50. You look at the base plus the power should be equal to 150 here. The next value is 99 to the power 51. 99 plus 51 is 150. That helps us to give an idea. Now, number of zeros is a product of, we have discussed this model. Your number of zeros will be a product of 2 to the power x, or 2 into 5 whole to the power x. Now we know number of 2's will always be greater than number of 5's. So to calculate number of zeros, all we have to check is number of 5's from here. So where will number of 5's come? The number of 5's will come. Let's start from the smaller value. 50 to the power 100. 50 to the power 100 will have how many 5's, guys? This can be written as 25 into 2 whole to the power 100. Now 25 can be written as 5 square into 2 whole to the power 100. Clear, guys? So let me make a proper solving here. Left hand side part is for the rough notes. So 50 to the power 100 will have how many zeros? 200 zeros. 205, sorry. This is 5 to the power 200 into 2 to the power 100. The next 5's come in 55 to the power. Now the sum should be 150. So 55 to the power 95. So this will have how many zeros? This will have 95 zeros. Clear? Similarly, next term becomes 60 to the power 90. Again, 60 to the power 90 will have how many zeros? 90 zeros. The next 5's will be at 65 to the power 85. This will have how many zeros? 85 zeros. Then we have 70 to the power 80 will have 80 zeros. Now let's understand. 75 to the power 75. Now 75 is again 25 into 3 whole to the power 75. So number of 5's will be how many, guys? 150 will be number of 5's. 80 to the power 70 will give you 75's. Next, we will have 85 to the power reducing mode, right? 65 will give you how many 5's? 65 5's. Then 90 to the power 60 will give you how many 5's? 65's. 95 to the power 55 will give you 55 5's. And finally 100. 100 to the power 50. 100 is again going to be 5 square. Clear? Into 2 square whole to the power 50. So this will give you another 100 5. So what are the total number of 5? So 250 plus 150 plus 100. That's 300, and 150 gives you 450. Now let's simplify here. Let's exclude the deviation. 90 plus 90 is 180. I'm excluding 5 from here. I'm excluding 5 from here. I'm excluding 5 from here. Excluding 5 from here. Okay. 90 plus 90 is 180. 180 plus 80 is 260. 260 plus 80 is 340. 340 plus 70 is 410. 410 plus 60 is 470. 470 plus 60 is 530. 530 plus 50 is 580. So 580, and you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to be 20. Okay, so this leaves us with 1050, which means this product at the end will have 1050 pipes. Okay, so not a difficult question. We have seen a similar question in the class, right? So please remember, this is a number of zeros at the end of a product, and this is how we solve this. Clear? Let's look at this question. Now, this question says A can complete a work in 12 days. So this question comes up from the topic called time and work. So A can complete a work in how many days, guys? 12 days. B can complete the work in how many days? That is 15 days. And C can complete the work in how many days? That is 20 days. Okay. So if I take my LCM here, my LCM here becomes 60. So this becomes 5, this becomes 4, and this becomes 3. Clear? All of them started the work together, but Chintu left when he realized that the remaining work can be completed without him in next 2 days. Now, what does it mean? If without Chintu, that means A and B are working. A and B together complete how many units? 9 units. So in 2 days, A and B would complete 2 into 9, 18 units. So when 18 units of work is pending, he left. That means A plus B plus C together completed 60 minus 18. That is 42 units together. Clear? So in 1 hour, they complete how much here? In 1 hour, they complete 12. So to complete 42 units, they will complete 42 by 12 days. Clear? Now, the next part says, and Balraj left when he realized that the work without him can complete in 1 day. That means now 18 units is left. Balraj left when the work without him can be completed in 1 day. In 1 day, which means only 5 units of work was left. Balraj left. That means A and B further completed how many units? Further completed 13 units. And finally, A completed 5 units in 1 day. Now, A and B in 1 day complete 9. So they will complete 13 units in 13 by 9 days. And finally, this guy completes in 1 day. So 42 by 12 can be 3 into 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are, and this is 3 fours. Clear, guys? So eventually the total number of days taken becomes 14 by 4, which is again nothing but 7s are and 2s are. So this is 7 by 2 plus 13 by 9 plus 1. So if you take the LCM as 18, 9 sevens are 63 plus 26 plus 18 becomes your answer. Clear? So 63 plus 26 is 89. 89 plus 10 is 99 plus 8 is 107 divided by 18. Clear? And 107 divided by 18 is 18. 5s are 90. 17 by 18. So this becomes your answer. And therefore, our answer is going to be option A. Clear? Yep, let's move to the next question, guys. So this is done. So again, this is a definitely doable question because not too much of difficulty, guys. By the time when we are moving towards CAT, we cannot ignore this. So minimum number of questions by this time should be 3. Clear? Now let's move to the next question. Now last Sunday, I decided to walk down the escalator. Now this is a question coming up from speed, time and distance on the concept called escalator. If you know the concept of escalator, this is a very, very, very easy question. Okay. So last Sunday, while at airport, I decided to walk down the escalator. I did some quick calculation in my mind and found that if I walk down 36 steps, I would require 40 seconds to reach the bottom. So we have a very simple uh, formula for number of steps in the escalator, which is time taken by both person 1 and escalator 1 plus or minus the escalator, which should be equal to time taken by person 2 plus or minus the speed of the escalator. Clear? Now, so time taken is 40 seconds. The speed of the person 1, he's taking 36 steps in 40 seconds. So speed becomes distance by time plus the speed of the escalator, which should be equal to, if I am if I am able to step down 44 steps, okay, so distance I would take only 24 seconds plus escalator whole into 24. This should be equal to number of steps in the escalator. So eventually what do we have? When we simplify, this becomes 36 plus 40e is equal to 44 plus 24e, or when we transpose, this becomes 16e is equal to 4 plus 4, that is 8, or the value of e is equal to half. The value of e is equal to half. What is the height? That means we want this value, so that becomes, let's say, 44 plus 22 into half, which is going to be, sorry, 24 into half, which is going to be 44 plus 12, which is going to be how much, guys? Which is going to be 56. So number of steps when the escalator is stationary would be 56. So that becomes our answer here. Let's move to the next question, guys. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, let's look at this question, guys. So we are given an equation. Let's simplify the quadratic equation first. So I'm not counting the previous question as the definitely doable because it's a escalators model. So not every student is comfortable there. Okay. So if I simplify my quadratic equation, what do I have? I have x square minus px minus p minus q is equal to 0. Or this can be simplified as x square minus px minus of p plus q is equal to 0. So I repeat, a is equal to 1 here, and we are getting the simplified form. Now, what is the sum of the roots? Clear? Let's say a and b are the sum of the roots. So a plus b is equal to minus of minus p divided by 1, which will be equal to p. Now, what is a into b? That is ab. ab is equal to c divided by a, that is minus of p plus q divided by 1. Now, if you observe in the statements or in the question statement, this q is troubling us, right? So, if I want q in the form of alpha and beta, now let's simplify this. I can write AP is equal to, I can replace P as A plus B, that is minus of A plus B. Clear? Minus of A plus B, and then I can simplify this as minus Q here. Or the value of Q is going to be what, guys? Minus A, minus B, minus AB. Now, this is a very important conclusion here. I repeat, I'm replacing. So, this can be written as minus P, minus Q, and we are replacing P here. Now, let's go back to our question statement. So, question statement says A square plus 2a plus 1 divided by, now my denominator is a square plus 2a minus b minus ab. Similarly, I can have this as b square plus 2b plus 1 divided by, this is b square plus 2b minus a minus b minus ab. What can I further simplify this as? We can further simplify this as a square plus 2a plus 1 divided by, this is going to be a square plus a minus b minus ab. And this can further be replaced as b square plus 2b plus 1 divided by b square, and this is going to be plus b minus a minus ab. Now look at only the denominator part, guys, okay? So if I take my denominator here, let's check this part here. So this is A square plus A minus B minus AB. So if I take A common, this becomes A plus 1. When I take minus B common, this is again A plus 1. So I can rewrite this as A square plus 2A plus 1 divided by A minus B into A plus 1. Similarly, let's focus on the second denominator here. Now, if this is B common, this becomes B plus 1. Minus A common, this becomes 1 plus B. So this part can be written as B square plus 2B plus 1 divided by B plus 1 into A minus B. Sorry, into B minus A this time. Now, this is very important here. Clear, guys? Now, if you observe the numerators, this numerator can be written as A plus 1 whole square divided by A minus B into A plus 1, plus this can be written as B plus 1 whole square divided by B plus 1 into B minus A. So square and square, this and this gets cancelled. So eventually my simplified form is A plus 1 by A minus B plus B plus 1 by B minus A. Clear? Now B minus A can be rewritten as minus of A minus B. Clear, guys? So remember this here. I'll keep this in a simplified format here. So this is B minus A. So what is my LCM here? My LCM here would be A minus B into B minus A. So this part would be A plus 1 into B minus A. Plus this part would be B plus 1 into A minus B. Let's simplify now. So my numerators are, so you get AB here minus A square plus B minus A. Similarly, the other part you will again have plus AB minus B square plus A, and then you have a minus B divided by, we have A minus B into minus of again A minus B. So let's cancel these things here, guys. So plus B minus B gets cancelled, plus A minus A gets cancelled. So my numerator has minus A square minus B square plus 2AB divided by, we have a minus of A minus B whole square. So if we take a minus common in the numerator, we have A square plus B square minus 2AB divided by minus of A minus B whole square. So if you observe, A minus B whole square, A minus B whole square gets cancelled, and the final answer is equal to 1. Now, let me tell you very frankly, this question is supposed to be left in the examination because of the lengthy part of calculation. You can come back to it at a later stage and then see if this question can be solved or not. Yep. So let's move to the next question here. So next question says, yep, percentage question should be very easy question. So this is from percentage should be the fourth minimum question in the paper. In the elections held during August, 60% of respondents favored Mr. A, while balance favored Mr. B. So in the month of August, 60x favored A and 40x favored B. Now it was found that in September, 10% of Mr. A's supporters switched their preference to B. So from here, there's a minus 6, and from here, there's a plus 6x. While same percentage of Mr. B's supporters, that is 10% of Mr. B supporters, 10% of 40 will give you minus 4x and moves here to become plus 4x. So in September, how much did they get? 60 minus 6 is 50. 4. 54 plus 4 is 58x here. And this becomes 42x. Clear? So 58x and 42x is the amount at the end of September. Now what are we doing? What percentage of the total number of electorates should now switch their preferences from Mr. A to Mr. B so that they are on par? So from Mr. A, let's say there are K people moving to Mr. B. And both of them should be at par. Clear? So this comes here, which gives you 16x is equal to 2k, or the value of k is equal to 8x. Now, what percentage of total? We have assumed total as 100x. So 8x upon 100 multiplied by 100 should be equal to how much, guys? 8%. And therefore, the answer should be option B. So fourth mandatory question of the paper should have been definitely solved. Clear? Now look at this question. I would rather advise you to leave this question because, to be very frank, there is a problem in the question. The solution has assumed that the interest is constant throughout the time period, which is totally wrong, because whenever I'm using EMI's option, then the interest keeps changing because the principal also has to change. Clear? So I would rather advise you to leave because of the large numbers given to us. So therefore, let's move to the next question. Now, next question. In polygons, we should never leave a question on hexagon, guys. Okay. Now, in hexagon, the question says that the shortest diagonal of hexagon is 3 centimeters long, or 3 units long. So let's assume that this is the shortest diagonal. Clear? Now, if this is the shortest diagonal, it's a regular hexagon. These two sides are equal. That means this is an isosceles triangle. I drop a perpendicular to the unequal side. So this bisects my base. So this becomes 1.5 and this also becomes 1.5. And each interior angle of hexagon is 120. So this becomes angle bisector. This also becomes 60. And then we are eventually talking about 30, 60, 90. So you're talking about a triangle like this. Clear? The top angle is 60 and this part is 30, and opposite to 60 is 1.5. Clear? Our job is to get this because this is the side of the hexagon. Clear? Now, why am I looking at the side of the hexagon? We'll come back to that a little later. Let's first calculate this part because this is a basic calculation we should be doing. So if root 3a is equal to 1.5, then the value of 2a is equal to 1.5 by root 3 into 2. Clear? Let's keep it as it is. Now, why is this important? Because if I go ahead in a regular hexagon, okay, when you draw all the lines, now this is my diameter, this is also my diameter, and this is also my diameter. And each side of this triangle or each side of the hexagon, in this case, side of the hexagon is equal to circumradius. And side of the hexagon that we got, which is equal to 1.5 divided by root 3 into 2, or we get this as 3 by root 3, or you multiply into root 3 on both the sides. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. So eventually circumradius becomes root 3. Now, how do we intend to calculate the shaded portion? Clear? Now, all we are doing is area of circle minus area of hexagon will give you 6 such areas. Okay, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All these 6 shaded regions is what we get, and we just want 1/6 of that. So area of circle is pi into r square. Root 3 whole square is 3. minus, so let me write it as 3 pi. Now area of hexagon is area of each equilateral triangle into 6. Clear? We should know these formulas. That is root 3 by 4 into a square. A square is root 3 whole square is 3. And this is multiplied 6 times. So this is 2 2s are, this is 2 3s. So eventually we have 1 by 6 into 3 pi minus 9 root 3 by 2, which is directly in option 1. Clear? So what are the things that you should know in a hexagon? So you go back and revise the formulas of all the hexagon. So area of the hexagon, each side, and the way we calculated 30, 60, 90. These are some basic things. In polygons, you should know about hexagon because it's a very commonly asked figure. Clear? So please go back and remember the way I always talk about right angle triangle, the same way hexagon also becomes very important to us. Clear? Let's move to the next question, please. Now, next question says that Rahul mixes a 20% alcohol solution and a 30% alcohol solution in the respective ratio of C is to D. So let me assume C liters of 20% alcohol is used. C liters of 20% alcohol is used and D liters of 30% alcohol is used. Clear? Which means I'm eventually mixing up C plus D liters. Now the new solution is thus obtained is mixed with an equal quantity. Clear? Which means now what am I doing to this mixture? I am adding another C plus D liters of 42, sorry, with an equal quantity of 60% alcohol solution. Finally, we obtain a 42% alcohol solution. That means we are talking about percentage of alcohol, which is equal to quantity of alcohol divided by total quantity of the mixture multiplied by 100. So what is quantity of alcohol coming up from the first one? That is 20% of C plus 30% of D plus 60% of C plus D. Clear? That is C plus D divided by, we have 2 times of C plus D in 200 should be equal to 42. Now, if you observe, this 100 can be taken common with this. So effectively, what do we have here, guys? We have 20C plus 30D plus 60C plus 60D is equal to 84C plus 84D. So we have 80C plus 90D is equal to 84C plus 84D. Or we have 4C is equal to 6D. Now the question is asking you which of the following represents C is to D. C is to D will be 6 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 2. So the fifth must do question, guys. Not a difficult question at all. By now, we should have been in a position to solve this. So minimum 5 questions to be solved by now, whenever we are looking at questions in this paper. Okay, guys, moving to the next question, please. Now, this is again a beautiful question on graphs. Now, let's define f of x. What is f of x? If you observe, f of x is this part. I'm using red color again. This is f of x. If you observe the graph of f of x is a graph of a mod because the value of y is always positive, and the value of the coordinate here is -1, 0. So which means if I replace -1, the value of this should give me 0, or this would be mod of x plus 1. Clear? So when I replace x is equal to -1, we get 0. Similarly, we're talking about g of x. G of x is also a graph of a mod. Now that is equal to mod of x minus 1, because now I replace x is equal to -1 and I should get the value as 0. Perfect. Now, h of x, if you observe, the beautiful part is when x is equal to -1, this coordinate is -1, comma 2. So I repeat, in h of x, if you replace the value of x is equal to -1, the output should be 2. Similarly, at 0 also, this point is 2 if you observe. At x is equal to 0 also, the output is equal to 2. And at x is equal to 1 also, the output is 2. If you observe, this point is also. All these coordinates are -1, comma 2, 0, comma 2, and 1, comma 2. Clear? Now, how do we solve this? Let's look at the options here. Now, h of x is equal to g of x plus f of x. Okay, or let's replace these options. If I look at first option here, so if I replace x is equal to -1, so I'm using option 2. Okay, f of x plus. Okay, let's look at option 1 first. Option 1. Let's replace one of these. So f of x or g of x minus f of x. Okay. So this is g of x minus f of x. So let's replace x is equal to -1 here. -1 is -2. So this value gives me 2. Minus, again, let's replace -1. -1 plus 1 is 0. Clear? So 2 minus 0 is equal to 2, which is satisfying. Let's replace x is equal to 0 here. If I replace x is equal to 0, this is -1, that is +1. And 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Now 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. This is not satisfying. Clear? So therefore, option 1 goes for a toss. I repeat, I'm using first one, I'm using second one, and I'm using third one. So first one, it satisfied, and second one, it did not satisfy. Now let's look at option 2. Option 2 says h of x, that is g of x plus f of x, should be equal to 2 for these three respective values. Okay. Now let's go with x is equal to -1. X is equal to -1. We are getting 2, or we will get 2 here because this is 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Second one again, now this will be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, satisfying. And let's go with the third option here. Third one is if x is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. And 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and 1 plus 2 is equal to 2. It is satisfying option 1, statement 2, and statement 3. Therefore, our answer here becomes option B. So can be a very easy question, should not be a very difficult question. And that should allow us to get the final answer here. Clear, guys? Let's move to the next question. So far, I've not discussed anything more. Now, this should be the 6th question of the paper, because we have seen a question of this kind in the class. Yep, let's look at this question now. King Vikramaditya was just and a wise and kind ruler. Okay, a lot of adjectives used. Fair enough, no problem. Now, what am I looking at? When his days were near, he decided to distribute the diamonds in his possession among his children, that is 3 sons and 3 daughters. Wow, okay. He also decided to keep a few diamonds for himself so that his earthly needs are met and fulfilled. He kept 1 diamond with himself and gave 1/5 of the remaining to his first son. So if he had X diamonds at the beginning, okay, then to himself, he gave 1 diamond. That means remaining becomes X minus 1. Then to his sons, he gave X minus 1 by 5. And the remaining diamonds were 4 by 5 of X minus 1. Okay. Out of the remaining diamonds, he kept 1 for himself and gave the rest to the second. And then he did the same with the third son. That means we have to repeat this cycle 3 times. And then finally, after 3 times, we will have some money left over. So our job is to search in the question. What is the question talking about? Now, he then distributed the remaining diamonds amongst three of his daughters. So can I say the leftover diamonds were 23x plus 46x plus 55x? Clear? So 20 plus 40 is 60, 60 plus 50 is 110. And this is 124x is the remaining diamonds. Clear? Now, so we will go with the remaining diamonds here and calculate the value of x 3 times. So step 1 or first time, 4 by 5 of x minus 1 is equal to 124x. Sorry, 124k. Let's take it as k here. So this is 4 ones and 4 31s, or we have x minus 1 is equal to 5 ones are 5, 5 threes are 15, or we have x is equal to 156k. Clear this step 1. Step 2, this is going back, okay? This is sun 3's calculation. Now we are doing sun 2's calculation. If his leftover 4 by 5 of x minus 1 is equal to 156k. This is 4 threes are 12, 4 nines are 36. So what do we have here? 5. So 40 minus 1 into 5. 40 minus 1 into 5. That will be 200 minus 5. That is 195. Or the value of x is equal to 196k. Now finally step 3 will be from the beginning in the reverse order. 4 minus 4 by 5 of this is equal to 196k. 4 fours are 16 and then 36. 4 nines are 36. Now 50 minus 1, that is 250 minus 5, that is 245. So we have x minus 1 is equal to 245k, or the value of x is equal to 246k. So what is the minimum number of diamonds you should have? If you observe, these are odd numbers. So k has to be in, the minimum value of k has to be 1. Clear? So therefore, the minimum number of diamonds you should have is 246. Right? So let's move to the next question. So definitely doable questions. Now, this was a question that we have also discussed in the class, right? This was an applications of time and work. Now, the Nevis Knox, the biggest oil tanker ship in the world, can be filled by any one of the N inlet pipes. Okay. The PI alone can fill the tanker completely in the time taken by P1 plus P2 plus P3 so on till P7. Sorry, P of I minus 1 while working. If P of 10 can fill in 10 hours, then how many hours does it take for P8 to fill alone? Now let's understand. If I want P8, the time taken by P8 to fill is equally good as the time taken by P1 plus P2 plus P3 and so on, so on, so on till P7 to fill the tank. Clear, guys? Which means if the time taken is same, so can I say that the efficiency is also same? Clear? So let me assume that the efficiency, let's take a random number. If this efficiency was X, this efficiency is also X. Clear? Which means, can I say the efficiency of P1 plus P2 so on till P8 is equal to X plus X, that is 2X. Now, if P1 till P8 is equal to 2X, that means P9 will also be 2X. Because P9 takes the time taken by all these to fill. Now P1 plus P2 so on till P9 combined it together will now become what? 2x plus 2x, that is equal to 4x. And if this is 4x, that means P10 alone will also complete 4x units in 1 hour. And we know that the number of hours taken by P10 alone is 10 hours, which means 10 into 4. So total work we are defining as 40x units. And we want the number of hours taken by P8 alone. So number of hours taken by P8 alone becomes 40x divided by x. That is equal to 40 hours. And that should be your answer. Clear, guys? So let's move to the next question. This should have been solved because again, this is a question coming up from the classroom model. So please go back and solve time and work application based PPT. But anything coming up from classroom model, we should not be leaving it in the examination. Clear, guys? Let's move to the next question here. Now, if x and y are real numbers, then the functions are defined as f of x, y is equal to mod of something, f of xy is equal to minus of f of xy, okay? G of xy and y is equal to x, okay? This is also given to us. Clear? So what do we have? We have f of small f of x is equal to, I guess there is some confusion here. 1 second, guys. This is not x2. In fact, this is x square, okay? Plus y square. Yeah. This is x square plus y square. And then we have f capital F of x comma y is equal to minus of f of x comma y. So whatever value you get here, minus of this. If this is equal to a, then this is equal to minus a. Clear? Now this is also equal to minus of g of x comma y. Clear? So I repeat, this is equal to minus a in that case. Minus a is equal, so minus of g of x comma y is equal to minus a. Now I repeat, if f of x comma y is equal to a, then all these are equal to minus a. So I repeat, if minus of g of x comma y is equal to minus a, that means g of x comma y is equal to a. So this is what we have. Now, which of the following will give you x to the power 4 as the final value? F of x comma y, I repeat, x comma y is, I replace x is equal to y, right? So f of x comma y, what is f of x comma y here? X square plus x square gives you 2x square. Now capital of x comma y will give you minus 2x square. And g of x comma y will also give you 2x square. This is what we have realized it. Now, which of these will give you, if you observe, first statement gives us 2x square into 2x square into 4. So first statement does not give us x to the power 4. Second statement is minus of, okay, minus of f of x comma y. So minus of minus 2x square will give you 2x square into g of x comma y will give you again 2x square into you have log 3 to the power 4 base 3. So this can be written as 4x to the power 4 divided by 4 log 3 base 3. Now this is equal to 1. 4 and 4 gets cancelled, which is equal to x to the power 4. So this should have been solved. It's just about your ability to enter the question and solve it. So therefore, this should be your final answer. Clear? Let's move to the next question of time and distance. Now Amit sets out for a walk from A to B. Okay. A quarter of an hour later, Pikesh sets out from A to B. So after 15 minutes, okay, from Amit. So Amit already started, right? Now Pikesh started 15 minutes later. where he was detained for 10 minutes. Okay. So total half mile forward and then returns back to A. So what has Pikesh done? Pikesh has traveled 1 mile, right? And he has again gone back and completed the total distance. Whereas Amit has just traveled the total distance. And he reaches B 5 minutes after A does. Right? So what is the total time taken by Amit? Okay. Now I'm clearly given if Amit walks at a rate of 3 miles an hour. Okay. So time taken by Amit, let's understand this, plus 5 minutes, that is 5 by 60 in terms of hours, or we can use everything in the form of minutes. No, okay, the speeds are in miles per hour, so we'll use hours here. Time taken by Amit to cover the whole distance, okay, plus 5 by 60 is equal to, now Amit started 15 by 60 late, so let's say 15 by 60 is first covered. Clear? And then what do we have here? Then he travels 1 miles at a speed. So time taken by Amit to travel 1 mile. And then time taken by Amit to travel D miles. Clear? So if I understand, D by 3 plus 5 by 60 is equal to 15 by 60 plus 1 by 4 plus D by 4. So best thing to do is let's take 60 as an LCM here and 60 as an LCM here. So this gives us what, guys? 20D plus 5, 60 gets cancelled, which is 15. Now 4 into 15 is 60, plus this is 15D. So if I transpose the values, we get 5D is equal to, clear? Fifteen by 60 is done, then 1 by 4. Okay, there he also got detained for 10 minutes. No, sorry, plus 10 by 60. So this will be plus 10 also. So this is 40, 40 minus 5, that is 35, or the value of D is equal to 7. Clear? So the answer of D is equal to 7. This is again a very simple question of speed, time, and distance based on equations. So according to me, this should be the 9th question of the paper that you should have solved. So minimum 9 questions is what we are expecting so far. Let's move forward. We are still left with 5 more questions now. Clear? Now let's look at 63rd. There is an ongoing effort in Petronas research lab to prepare blended biojet fuel in the first phase of research. Okay. A vessel contains 40 liters of pure jet grade in the first operation. So 40 liters of pure jet grade. 8 liters of this kerosene is taken out and replaced with bioethanol made from maize. Okay. So I have biomethanol. I'm replacing with 8 liters. So at the end of first experiment, this is 32 and 8. In the second experiment, which means they are in the ratio of what, guys? 4:1. In the second experiment, 10 liters of solution is taken out and replaced with, now this is the only point which is the catch in the question. You have to read the question carefully. I'm replacing with kerosene. So 4:1, 10 liters. That means I'm replacing minus 8 here, minus 2 here, and I'm adding 10 liters of kerosene. Which means 32 plus 2, this gives me 34, and this gives me 6, which means they are in the ratio of 17:3. Clear, guys? Now, what is the question talking about? The question is now talking about, in the third operation, 8 liters is taken out and replaced with biomethanol altogether. Now, if you want, we can do this also. So 8 liters is taken out. So we can write 17 by 20 of 8 minus 17 by 20 of 8, and I'm adding 8 back. So if I want to simplify, sorry, this is 3 by 20 of 8. Okay. So this is 34 minus 17 by 20 can be written as 17 into 2 divided by 5. Okay, this is one way of doing it, which might be calculation intensive, but should not be a problem. 35 is 150, 4 5 is 20, that is 170 minus 34 divided by 5. And this part becomes 6 plus 8, that is 14. 14 minus of 13 into 2 divided by 5. So this is going to be 70 minus 26 divided by 5. So 170 minus 34 will give you, this is 40. 136 by 5 is 2. This will give you 4 and this will give you 4 is 30. So this is 44. 44 by 5. Either we go by this, or to be very frank, for the last part, we can directly go ahead with removal and replacement method, because this calculation becomes very intensive, right? So what we can directly do here is, we can directly calculate removal and replacement, since I'm replacing with bioethanol. So initial quantity of kerosene was 34. 1 minus 8 by 40 is the final quantity of kerosene. 1 minus 1 by 5 is 4 by 5. So this is 34 into 4 divided by 5 becomes your final value. Clear? So 34 into 4 by 5 is going to be 136 by 5. Now total quantity is 40 liters. That is 40 minus 136 by 5. So what do we have? 136 by 5 is 2. This is 200 minus 136. 200 minus 136 is 64 divided by 5. These two gets cancelled. This is 8 8s and this is 8 into 17s. So 17 is to 8 is your final answer, and therefore option D becomes your final answer. Clear, guys? So this becomes pretty easy to look at in that case. Now, let's move to the next question. Now, two circles with radii of 20 and 16 intersect, and the length of the common chord is 24. Now, again, a very easy question, guys. Whenever you have the common chord and the line joining both the centers bisects the common chord at 90 degrees. This is the first property we need to understand. Clear? That means this part becomes 12 and this part becomes 12. Now the next easier part is, let's join the radii. Let's say one of the radii is 20 and one of the radii is 16. Now if you look at, let's say I name the triangles, let's say A, B, C, D and E. So in triangle BCD, you see it's a right angle triangle. This is 12, this is 20. So can I say this is 3 into 4? This is 5 into 4. So this base will become how much, guys? 4 into 4, which is dB. So dB is equal to 16. Okay. Now let's look at triangle ACD. In triangle ACD, what do we have, guys? In triangle ACD, this is 12. Hypotenuse is 16. So this part becomes root over of 16 square minus 12 square. So this will give me root over of 112. Clear? Which is going to be AD. Now can I say distance between their centers is equal to AD plus DB, which is 16 plus root 112. Now what is root 112? 10 square is 100 less than 11 square, that is 121. That means root 112 lies between 10 and 11. Clear? So the value of D, let me write it this way. The value of D is greater than 26 and less than 27. That becomes your answer. So option B becomes your answer, and that should be your final value. Clear, guys? So this becomes our 63rd question of the paper. Let's move to 64th question. Now, a solid metal sphere is melted and smaller spheres of equal radius are formed. Point number one, when I'm, melting a larger sphere, a good number of, let's say, n smaller spheres are formed. The radius of the smaller sphere is 1/8 of the radius of the larger sphere, and 20% of the material is lost. Okay. So larger sphere's volume. So first formula we'll be using is volume of the larger into 80% should be equal to n smaller spheres into volume of smaller spheres. This is the first part we'll be using. So volume of a sphere is 4/3 into pi. Let's say larger radius is capital R cube into 80/100 is equal to n into 4/3 into pi. Now the radius of the smaller sphere is 1/8 of the larger sphere. Clear? That is R/8 whole cube. That is R cube divided by 8 cube. Clear? So what do we get from here? So 4/3 gets cancelled, pi gets cancelled, R cube gets cancelled. So value of n that we get is equal to 8 to the power 4 divided by 10. Clear? Or we can write 8 cube into 4/5. We can also do this. So this can be written as 4/5, or we can write this as 8 cube into 4 divided by 5. So these many smaller cubes we have. This is step number 1. Okay. Now, if 20 liters of paint was needed to paint the larger sphere. Now, when I'm painting the circumference or surface area. Okay. So 20 liters of paint was required. So more the surface area, more the paint is required. So what we will do is we will apply that surface area is directly proportional to the number of liters of paint that is required. Clear, guys? Now what is surface area? Surface area is 4 pi r square. So let's write it in this way. Surface area of larger divided by surface area of smaller is equal to 20 divided by x. Now 4 into pi into r square divided by, how many smaller do we have? We have 8 cube into 4 divided by 5 into pi into again r square by 8 square, which should be equal to 20 divided by x. Now, if we simplify, this gets cancelled, 4 gets cancelled, 8 square and 8 gets cancelled, r square gets cancelled. So therefore, eventually we have the value of x. Clear? If I simplify this, this also will have a 4 here, right? Yeah. So we eventually have 8 into 4 is, so when you simplify and calculate this, okay, 4 into pi r square, right? So once you simplify all this, we get the value of x is equal to 120h. Clear, guys? So that should be a final answer. Or if you want, this can be 8 into 4 is 32. 32 into 20 is 640. 640 divided by 5 should be the value of x. That is again 128 again. Okay, guys. So this moves up with 64th question of the paper. Now let's move to 65. Now this is the question. Coincidentally, the last mock discussion that I had with you guys, we had a similar question here. We are given the ratio of the nth term of a series. Ratio of sum of n terms of the series, right? So p square is equal to a1 plus a2 plus a3 so on till ap. So if you have attended my last workshop, which is Thursday's quant workshop, we discussed a question of this kind. Now A6. So if you want A6, That means I will replace the value of P is equal to 11. If P is equal to 11, then A1 plus A2 plus A3, so on till A11, divided by 11, that will be the average of a series of 11 terms. That should be equal to A6. Clear, guys? So this will give me what? A1 plus A2 so until A11 will be 11 square divided by 11 will be A6. Similarly, A21 will be, when you take 41 terms, the easiest way is assume 21 is the center. So you have 20 terms here and you have 20 terms here. So 21st term will be your central term. Clear? So P41 will be equal to A1 plus A2 so on till A41 divided by 41 will be equal to A21. So the easiest way is this again 41 square by 41. This will give you 11. This will give you 41. So therefore, the final value becomes 11 by 41. Since I'm given ratio, this is the easiest way in which we can solve and we can get our answer. Clear, guys? Let's move to the next question here, please. Now, the last question here is, if these are the vertices of a parallelogram. Okay. So this is -2, 1. Let's say this is A, 0. Let's say this is 4, B. And let's say this is 1, 2. Clear? Now, these are the 4 vertices of parallelogram. I want the area of the parallelogram. Before area, we want the coordinates of A and B. Now, in a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other. Okay. So this is the midpoint. Let's say this is X, Y. So this becomes A plus 1 divided by 2. This is the midpoint of X from this side. Or let's say A, B, C, D. From BD's point of view, the coordinate of X is equal to A plus 1 by 2. And from AC's point of view, the coordinate of X is equal to -2 plus 4 divided by 2. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. Your value of A is equal to 1. Similarly, the value of Y from BD's point of view is 0 plus 2 by 2. And from AC's point of view is 1 plus B by 2. In this case, you get the value of B is also equal to 1. Now, if I want the area of a parallelogram, the area of a parallelogram would be half, clear, mod of, I take x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4, and again x1 and y1. So this becomes half mod of -2 into 0 is 0. Clear? Plus, sorry, minus 1 plus 1 into 1 is 1 minus 0 into 4 is 0 plus 4 into 2 is 8 minus 1 into 1 is 1 plus 1 into 1 is 1 minus 2 into -2 is minus of -4. So this gives us how much, guys? This is half mod. This is -1. This is +1. That is 0. This is 7 and this is 5. So that is 12 by 2. And your final value becomes 6. So 6 should be the area of the parallelogram. Now this ends our PPT, guys. So I think if I look at the whole paper, I think somewhere around, one second, guys. Yeah. I think somewhere around 10 to 12 questions were doable. Okay. So minimum number of questions that I'm expecting from you guys in this paper is around 10 to 12. And I guess anywhere around 14 to 15 correct should be a very good score in this paper. So keep practicing well, guys, and all the best. Thank you, guys.